All right, welcome back, everybody, to the SilmFilm Script Discussion, Season 3, Episode 1, Part 6, 7. It's 7. It's 7. Did I not do that last time? Anyway.
Right.
That's why.
You didn't.
That's
you skipped it for 6.
Yes. Okay, cool. Because I started thinking about something else. Anyway, so we are we out of Act 3? Did we finish Act 3?
We haven't talked about what the Thangordrum scene looks like.
Okay, yeah.
But we know that that's the end of Act 3. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're almost done with Act 3. Amazingly. We almost did that in 20 minutes. How cool is that? All right. So Act 3. We know we're starting to build up Thangordrum.
I have to imagine that the Balrogs are involved in this because we haven't given Gothmog anything to do other than stand next to Morgoth's throne at this point.
And there's not much, like, there's not really anybody else for a labor force.
Right. So if we've seen Sauron's Orc project going on, then this becomes like the Balrogs Thangordrum project, kind of.
I think that, because I think they're like made of slag and ash, right? That's the...
Well, it's very volcanic.
Right. But I wonder if this has to do with the forging of weapons also for the Orc army that is coming.
I mean, obviously they're going to do that at some point. They don't have to be.
We don't need to know that that's happening, I guess. All right. I'm just trying to kind of think that through. All right. So.
Yeah, we're not going to have an Orc army for a few episodes yet.
Yeah.
So we do have a little time.
Right. So we have. I don't know how to set this up. I feel like it's hard to figure this out without like actually come up with the structure of these 3 towers, these 3 mountain towers in relation to the actual installation.
Well, it's basically 3 large volcanic mountains.
Yes.
So the way
how large kind of depends on how big you want Angalicon to be, but
but the way you grow a volcano is rather dramatic.
Yes.
You know, you have a flat area and all of a sudden stuff starts spewing out and you build up these mountains. So it's kind of like a sped up version of a volcano, although there are some volcanoes that do grow pretty much overnight because of the type of debris they're made out of.
So maybe we just start out with like an exterior shot of Angband, essentially, and you start to see these fissures opening up.
Yeah. Now, we probably want Melkor to express some desire for something associated with it. Like, we can't just build the towers. We need to explain why he's doing it.
Yeah.
And it has to be, I'm not going to skulk in a hole. I want giant towers built to the sky. And therefore, this is totally Loki and Avengers.
Yes.
And who did we cast as Melkor again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not.
I know. No, Loki is Fingolfin, so
he's on his way, though. He is on his way.
He's in this episode, and he's gonna die in front of Thangordrum. So
yes, there we go. He is on the road to here. So yeah, I think that we are going to. Gosh, the quality of this video on the other side is terrible. Don't worry about it. So we are going to get that.
Yeah.
So maybe have the Balrogs are engaged in this activity. Have Sauron come up alongside Melkor, and kind of wondering why.
Yeah. Doesn't this defeat the purpose of having a secret hideout?
Right. And have Melkor say that the secrecy served its purpose, but I'm not going to hide.
He has to. Is he going to declare himself Lord of Middle Earth or something at this point? Like,
Yeah.
He's already sat on a throne. I mean, that's the title he wants, right? Lord of Middle Earth.
Yeah. So.
I mean, is he going to call himself King of Arda?
I feel like that's a later thing that he starts saying again.
Yeah. So still Lord of Middle Earth is enough. But the point is, he's trying to declare his kingship. So he's going to explain that to Sauron.
Right.
And that would give us a reason to be showing the volcanoes erupting.
Right. Yeah. They're standing off watching this taking place. And Melkor is going to hint at where, like, Sauron might hint that maybe the Balrogs aren't up to this particular task in total, suggesting that he really should be put in charge of this. Like, that's kind of the angle he's going for. But Melkor is going to hint that
I have something else for you.
Right. That he, but that he has other, like, there are other places where he can find workers or something like that, like something along those lines, suggesting that of what he's going to be doing with the orcs.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. So that's that scene. That's our break into Act 4.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Act 4 is let's gather everyone in the torchlit scene at the courtyard in Tirion.
So we go from a scene lit by volcano to a scene lit by torches. Okay. Why don't you tell me about your idea of how to rescue the Oath without it looking weird? Okay.
So I have had 2 different experiences of reciting the Oath of Feanor while dressed as a Feanorian, because I'm me. So in the first experience, somebody got up on stage and started reciting the Oath of Feanor while I was dressed as Curufin. And they were reading it from the book, right? So they were just doing a dramatic reading.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to do because I didn't know they were going to do this. So I ran up and jumped out on stage and drew my sword while they recited the Oath.
Yeah.
And there was one other person in the audience also dressed as a son of Feanor, so he also ran up after me and jumped on the stage. So the 2 of us jumped up behind this person reading the Oath and pulled out swords and just stood there silently because we didn't have a copy of it. It turned out kind of cool.
Yeah.
The second time, I was with a group of people where we had someone as Feanor and all 7 sons. And so we came up and Feanor led the Oath. And we all recited it because we had pieces of paper. And then so the person who had recited the Oath the last time was Mandos this time and decided to recite the Doom of Mandos on us after that. So we all got doomed. And that was the end of that scene. As far as which scene turned out more dramatic, honestly, the one where we were silently jumping up behind him worked better.
Okay.
It was also spontaneous, but you know.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to not have the sons recite the Oath, my suggestion would be that when Feanor recites the Oath, all 7 sons jump up to stand with him and draw their swords. And when he gets to the end, they all shout, so swear we all. So they've given their assent to the Oath at that point. They're clearly part of it. But if someone wants to dramatically not have them recited on camera, like, we could work around it.
Okay.
How does that sound to you?
Yeah, that sounds better than... So here's...
I heard what Dave said,
Yeah. Let me explain my issue with that publicly on video so that, for posterity and whatnot. So my issue with the idea of the sons not engaging with the Oath initially is that, and I said this on the forums also, is that if we have them, because Feanor has them go through the Oath again during his death. And if that's the first time he says it, that happens, there's no sane person that is going to consider that binding, because it was essentially under duress. It's their father's dying wish.
Right.
Like nobody would ever consider them held to that.
Exactly. And that was the whole point, is that Dave was trying to suggest that if we have them recite it later after they've already seen the effects, after they've already seen the doom of Mandos and all that, and the shit burning and everything, then it makes them more culpable. And I was like, except for the deathbed wish thing, which negates all of that, because when someone imparts a dying wish, most people would feel obligated to honor it, if at all possible. So if anything, we would see them doing the oath under duress in that scene, whereas in this scene, it's not under duress.
Right. If they cop to the oath now, they are 100% culpable. Like, it is absolutely their doing, because Feanor didn't know what was going to happen. How is he any less? Like,
well, Feanor might not have known what was going to happen, but he did cause like all of it.
Right. Yes. But he didn't know. He didn't know any of that was going to go down.
Honestly, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't know the kinslaying was going to happen until people were falling dead around him.
Right. Like, I think he legitimately thought that the Teleri were just going to go along with this.
Yeah, and if they needed a little bit of strong arming to convince them, so be it. But yeah, he honestly thought he was going to get his way and didn't realize anyone would oppose him for real.
Right. It never occurred to him, I don't think, that he was going to wind up killing Teleri elves in Aqualande. I seriously think that it just didn't occur to him that that was going to happen. Because if he did think that was going to happen, it would read very differently. Like,
he would have gone about it differently.
He would have openly threatened them.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that scene would have ended. He would have openly threatened them.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he thought that, and when he does leave and come back, it's pretty clear that he thought that the Teleri would just let him leave with the boats.
Yeah.
You know, that the Teleri wouldn't be stupid enough to actually attack them.
Right. Yeah, no. And at that point, he's essentially fleeing Valinor. He needs to get out of there as soon as possible.
Right.
So his decisions are being made under this extreme sense of a deadline.
Yeah.
That nobody else around him.
Yeah.
There's all this urgency, and nobody around him sees that, because what's the rush? There really, it doesn't seem to be one.
Right.
And yet he needs to get out of there right away. So he's operating under a set of rules that other people don't see and understand, which explains why the Teleri just don't get it.
Right.
Like, look, if you need boats, you could build boats. If you want us to build boats for you, like, let's talk about that. We'll build you some boats, but you can't take ours.
Right. Yeah.
Like, but I need boats now, right the heck now.
Right.
And they're
like, I don't think the Teleri thought that the Noldor were going to open up on them. Like, I think the Teleri thought, you know, we're gonna knock some of them off into the water. Yeah. Like, it's gonna be a little bit of a scuffle, but, like, you know,
they'll back off.
They'll back off once we show them that we're serious about not letting them take our boats.
Yeah.
And the Noldor are just like, nope. You know.
Right. Like, so it escalates way out of hand that both sides didn't see it coming.
Right. Now, you know.
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's saying that the sons of Feanor are not culpable when they give the oath at the beginning, then Feanor is also not culpable. Like that,
right.
because it's the same.
The oath itself has culpability to it, because if you wanted to swear to do something, you could just swear to do it.
Right.
Like, if Feanor wanted to say, I'm going to get my Silmarils back and make sure Morgoth pays, like, he could have sworn that oath, but he didn't.
Right.
He swore an oath against anyone who stood in his way.
Right.
Which is pretty extreme.
Right. And he called the everlasting darkness on himself.
Right. He put in the consequence of the oath of everlasting darkness, which essentially is the void.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how that's a reference to anything other than the void, which means banishing yourself from Arda.
Yeah.
If you fail. I mean, what more serious? I mean, that's like way more serious than on pain of death.
Which, if that happened, like, he's out there hanging out with Melkor.
Well, yes, but Melkor's not there yet. Yes.
Well, yes, but like now, essentially.
Yeah. Like, that's who's eventually going to be there. And thirdly, he calls in witness the name of Iluvatar.
Right.
Like, he doesn't just swear the oath on, I swear on my father's grave, or I swear on the Holy Mountain, or I swear by the Valar, or the powers.
By the way, I do think that point is the point where we show Varda and Manwë. The point where he talks about the mountain. Yeah. Like, I think that we just see a shot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are witnesses to this.
Yeah. I mean, the oath was made in their name.
Right.
So they heard that.
Right. And saw
it. Let's say, well, Manwë heard it and Varda saw it. But the point is, together, they're...
Other way.
Okay, yes. But the point is, they saw and heard that. Together, they saw and heard the thing.
Yeah, yes. Is this how you feel all the time? Anyway.
Maybe.
You ever seen National Treasure?
Yeah, but not for a long time.
There was a scene where the character who is constantly not knowing what's going on, like the historical things,
right, knows one thing,
knows something that the other two don't know, and he's like, is this how you feel all the time? I want to savor this moment. So anyway, so that happens. I'm okay with the Sons of Feanor coming up out of the crowd in agreement with Feanor and saying, "So swear we all." They can reaffirm their oath later. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with Feanor saying it in a vacuum.
Right. And I think that there is a reason to not want to have the sons voicing it along with him for dramatic purposes, that a single voice reciting the oath might sound better.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also, I don't know, because quite honestly, I think the idea of them coming out of the crowd saying it together, like, that's
could also be done very dramatically. Yeah.
Like, that is weird, and like, it's freaky. And I can see people being freaked out by that. Like that, I said exactly that. Like, yeah, it's weird. It should be weird. It should look weird.
Yeah. No, I mean, it would be my choice to have them say it. But
if there's a consensus that is not the thing that's going to happen, I can live with that.
And the reason I hesitated, the only reason, was because I knew we were going to have them recite it 9 episodes later.
Yeah.
And if you have them all recite it now and all recite it later, sometimes that repetition is a bit too much. Like, you can repeat certain things.
Yes. Yeah.
But visually and whatever on film, you don't want to do it too much repetition.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Okay. So we get that. Is there anything else that we need to talk about the oath taking?
No, I think that should be good for the oath itself. The stuff that comes before the oath, though, as far as who speaks or whatever, I think they already went over who they wanted to say what. So we just have that all here.
So, I mean, Feanor is going to do most of the talking.
Right. And there'll just be a few comments thrown in that would reflect the views that they wanted to have reflected.
Right. Galadriel have her comment. Galadriel's comment could actually be in response to, like, one person saying something negative to Feanor, and Galadriel voices the opinion that, even if what you're saying is true, then, will you stay here in the dark, or will you go with us, to the land of our birth, of our forefathers, and create such kingdoms as we will. I feel like that's her attack, and I feel like her saying that in response to something that is directed at Feanor. Who is saying that? I can't really say.
Yeah. The problem is, it's hard to get voices of dissent.
Right, because any voice of dissent is going to make a lot of sense.
And they're the people who are going to stay and we're never going to see again. And there was a desire not to waste screen time on them. Right. To be fair.
Yeah. I mean, you can give it to, like, unnamed elf number 6, but...
Well, no, we can give it to Rumil.
There you go.
Rumil's going to stay.
Yeah.
And Rumil is a grumpy old guy.
Yeah.
Like, even when he was a young elf, he was a grumpy old guy. So But I had
this is like his parting shot at Feanor.
Yeah, but I had put that in the slides of like who else talks, and I put Rumil as a suggestion, and they did shoot it down immediately as like, no, we don't need to hear from people who are going to stay. So it was specifically shot down, just so you know. But if we do need a voice of someone who's going to say, don't do this, like who but Rumil would say that. So
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like who has the nerve to challenge Feanor and is going to get dismissed?
Yeah,
that's
counts as
the issue. You know. Okay, well, we can
figure every single one of our main characters is going, and the only ones who are staying are some of the wives who are specifically not speaking up out in the square here.
Right, so because that essentially means directly challenging their husbands, which I don't think that that's a thing that's
it's not going to happen publicly.
Right. Okay. So, all right. I feel like, all right. So that's basically kind of the way that Act 4 is going to go. It's going to kind of climax with that. With the final taking.
Yeah, just to throw in, one of the things that Feanor has to say is the naming of Melkor as Morgoth.
Yes. Yes.
Like, that needs to happen and be very prominent in his speech.
Yeah.
And stuff like that is what gets the Noldor on board. Naming Melkor as an enemy, like he killed our king, and by the way, the trees are dead, let's just leave. Like, those things everybody agrees to.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff is very Feanor specific. He stole my Silmarils. Nobody cares, Feanor.
Yeah.
You know, so some of what Feanor says doesn't resonate with the crowd, but enough of it hits exactly the right chord that he gets them all going.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break real quick. If you're watching us live, seems like there's a couple of people left. If you're watching us live, hang in there. We'll be right back. If you're watching us in the future, definitely like and share the videos if you like and want to share them. If you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe. Check out the links below for all the information on Mythgard, Signum, SilmFilm, and other cool stuff. So we'll be back in a minute.